But bro, like the parade is on a whole nother level. Like that, when people ask me like, what was my favorite part about that year? Number one was like the guys that we did it with, but like number two, a close second was like, dude, that parade was out of this world, man. Just so much fun. The city did it right. I mean, they were starving for a football championship, dude. They haven't won one. They never won a Super Bowl, but they won a championship, way, way, way back. And so just to be able to do that in that city, bro, they deserved it. The way we did it was really cool, as well. But there's so many factors that, I mean, the way we did it, the guys we had, the city, the no championships, like, all of that just blends in, and it just makes the story, so much cooler.
The NFL stands for not for long.
Second down and goal from just inside the 2. Backs offset. Sharga and Armstead. Rollout. Walker still running out. Looks to the left. Wide open. Thompson touchdown. Colin Thompson with the touchdown. There was nobody within 20 yards of
a catch off the bobble. Colin Thompson scoops it up.
Lofting corner the end zone. It is caught for the touchdown. The first NFL touch for Colin Thompson is a score.
Too many words I left to say, so they get left behind. I can't let you go. I won't let you know. I'm drowning in your wine.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to another episode of Not For Long Media. I'm your host, Colin Thompson. Thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate everyone's support. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This episode, the great Trey Burton, former Florida Gator, NFL veteran, Super Bowl champion, threw a touchdown in the Super Bowl as a tight end. Pretty freaking cool. So Trey Burton, thank you so much for coming on, brother. Trey has been a friend of mine for years now since we met in 2012, but we got really close when I was with the Chicago Bears. We were with the Chicago Bears in Coach Nagy's first season. I believe that was the 2018 season. I was there for training camp when Trey was signed over from the Eagles after the big Super Bowl win, and we got to spend a few months together before I end up getting cut. Actually, the day the Bears traded for Khalil Mack was the day I get cut, and you kind of hear the story into the podcast. So Trey Burton joined us, former Florida Gator legend, and just an unbelievable person on and off the field. He's involved in so much. He's a philanthropist, a great father, husband, a great friend, a brother. Shout out to Clay and Dolly and their growing family. So Trey Burton joined us. But first we get into that, guys. We have a lot going on. This is going to be recorded the day before the national championship comes out. So obviously we're not ready to select our winner for March Goodness yet. March Goodness, which we started in Not For Long Media and our friends at Opinions on Pickens. Check them out. Check a list out and what they're doing over there. Doing a great job. We're donating $1 for every single bracket entry into March Goodness. So I believe we have over 55 brackets, but we're going to be donating over $100 to the winner's charity of choice. We're going to grow this thing over the years. We're going to find other ways to do this and raise money for great causes. And hey, listen, you win March Madness, you get to pick the cause we're going to donate the money to. So that's something we're really, really excited about over here at Not For Long Media and Opinions on Pickens. Again, check out what Alyssa's doing over there. So what's on the docket moving forward? A few different things. We have trivia questions coming up that are going to involve our sponsors. We have sponsors coming on the podcast to talk about a few different things. We have some new fun sponsorships. But first, before we send it over to the Trey Burton interview, I want to talk about our friends over Wealth Advisory Services, Paul and Dave. I was able to talk to Paul the other day. Paul's going to come on the podcast in the next coming weeks, located in Doylestown, Bucks County, Pennsylvania, my hometown. They do a fantastic job, personalized approach to managing your wealth. They manage mine personally, my family's. They do an unbelievable job at just educating, which is what I need at this stage of my life as a 27-year-old trying to figure out what the heck am I watching? What the heck am I doing? And hey, I like this stock. What do you think? What should I do? I love that personally. And truly, they become friends. They become family. And there's someone that, I'm lucky to have in my life as a resource, but also as a friend, like I said, family. So check out Paul. Check out Dave, wealthadvisoryservices.com, located conveniently in Doylestown, right outside Philadelphia. We have ex-Philadelphia Eagle coming on the podcast, so that's really cool. Trey Burton, can't wait. You guys are going to absolutely love this one. But before we send it over to Trey, we're going to talk about another sponsor that's in the Northeast, the original Fudge Kitchen, fudgekitchens.com. Creamy fudge, saltwater taffy, you name it, they have it. unbelievable stuff. We had an Easter bunny, Fudge Easter bunny yesterday for Easter. I crushed it with Sydney and our family. And we sent a couple of our family members online, fudgekitchens.com. Check them out. Bunch of birthdays coming up. Some fun summer holidays are coming up. Send a little fudge to your family, make their day. I had to swim off that extra fudge a day. I had to get an extra, 10 laps in. And that sounds like a lot or a little, I guess, but that's all I can do at this stage. I'm working my way up into swimming. So I had to sweat it out today a little bit, get the fudge out of my body. But man, it tastes so freaking good, and it's a great gift. So we're going to send it over to the Trey Burton interview. I hope you guys enjoy it. Trey's a dear, dear friend. For those listening to this right now, you can watch Trey and I's interview on YouTube, the whole thing. Everything we do is visual on here, as well as obviously audio, MP3. So you can listen to it in your car, or whatever you're doing, on your run, on your walk, but you can actually watch us on YouTube. You can watch the intros, you can watch the outro. And stay tuned this week on YouTube. This Just In segment, a new segment we're doing with Justin Ayers, who's becoming a little bit of my co-host in the beginning parts of the podcast. He's going to be joining me this week. We're going to reveal the winner of March Goodness, the bracket challenge. We're going to talk about how March Madness ended and a few things to look forward to, like with the Masters, NHL playoffs are on the horizon, NBA playoffs on the horizon. This is a really fun year, really fun time of year in sports. So let's send it over to the Trey Burton interview. Trey Burton, Florida Gator legend, Super Bowl champ, Philly special, Bears, Colts, NFL free agent looking for a new home. So, Trey, thanks a bunch for coming on, brother.
Relax. I know you've never been this high before. The stars and the moons and the constellations. Let's leave this world.
All right, so Trey Burton's in the house. We appreciate you coming in, Trey.
Anytime, dude. Anything for you, bro. You know that.
Thank you, buddy. We got a little wine tonight, so cheers from – where are you, Tampa?
Tampa, bro. Where are you?
I'm in Cape May, New Jersey.
Oh, nice. How's the weather?
You know what? It's heating up.
Is it?
55 today. It's going to be 70 tomorrow.
Goodness. Look at you, bro. Summertime.
Oh, dude, I have a house. I'm like a grown man now. I'm an old man now. I was cleaning the trash can today with a hose and
Proud of you, bro.
Water.
Proud of you. I pressure washed my fence today. So, yeah, join the club.
Yeah, so last time we were together, we had to be in Chicago. I was in a car ride. Last time we talk all the time via text, but yeah, it was training camp and I got cut. I got cut the day that you guys traded for Khalil.
Really? That same day?
I screenshot it. I'll never forget. I woke up early. It was cut day. Obviously, you were sleeping in a little bit more than I was. I was up early. I was up early at the team hotel there, and I'll never forget it. I screenshot it, sent it to the tight end group, and I said, let's go. Because I'm thinking, all right, I'm on the practice squad. But we had so many guys, so there was a chance I wasn't going to be brought back. But yeah, so that was probably the last time we saw each other. But so
great times, though, bro. We had great times in Chicago. We had a great time.
We had a great room. We really did. When I was there, it was Dan Brown, Ben Broniker, you, me, Shaheen, Adam, and there's one more.
Was Dax there, or was that after you? Dax Raymond?
No. Dax Raymond, no. Who was it? Who are we missing? No, that was it. Trey, Colin, Dan, Adam, Ben.
There's one
Who
more.
was six? Who was six?
I can't think of it.
Oh, Dion.
Oh yeah, Dion. Yeah.
Dion's a monster. It's a shame he had the injuries because he's a great player. That was a good group. And Kevin Gilbride, who was
Gilby.
He's a great guy. He's in Carolina now.
No, really?
Gilby is in Carolina. He'll be listening. He's a loyal listener.
Good for him.
Every place I've been, the Giants, the Bears, and now Carolina, Gilby and I have worked together.
Good for you, bro. What a great guy to have in the building.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's always he's been good to me. No, we had some good time in Chicago. What a great city. I'm going to bounce around, but there's got to be some good memories in Chicago, especially off the field. I mean, on the field, there was some too, for sure, but off the field, what were some of the things you guys did in Chicago that you enjoyed, that you missed?
Bro, I think the city of Chicago, east of, 95 and north of South Chicago is unbelievable. The downtown area, bro, is I mean, second to none. People want to rate, New York and LA and Houston. Like, bro, Chicago is right there with anybody, food wise, entertainment wise, people wise. Like, bro, it is just a fun city. I can't, bro. We went to so many. There was never one time where I went to a restaurant and I was like, oh man, this is lower than a 7 out of 10. Every restaurant is absolutely phenomenal. Like, man, we had so much fun. So we lived, you've been to my house. We live in Chicago. We lived a block or two from the train station. So we would just, my wife and I, every date night, we just hop on a train, bro. In 45 minutes, you're literally in the center of the city, and you Uber to the restaurant and you hop back on and you're good to go. And bro, like the public transportation there is awesome. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Philly. Philly is just so much it's not so spread out. Whereas like Chicago's, man, it's spread out, a couple miles wide. So, but there's stuff for everybody, old people, middle-aged people, and then young people, the aquarium and the zoos and that type of stuff. So just a great city overall.
I loved it there, man. When I signed there, I got more texts than when I signed with the Giants, like draft day. There were so many people like reaching out, like, you're going to love that city. Here's where you go. I had this long list. I put lists together because I am not OCD, but I put lists together so I can remember everything. And then if somebody tells me like Trey's like going to whatever in Chicago, or Trey's went to whatever in the Keys, I want to go and then text Trey and say, hey, I went. It's good. So Chicago, my phone blew up. And it wasn't like, hey, good luck. It was like, hey, here's where you go out and have a good time. Like Wrigleyville was fantastic.
Awesome, bro. Great area.
What a atmosphere to have fun in. Like I heard so many great things about it. And
I thought I was back in Gainesville, bro. I literally thought I was back in Gainesville.
It was so cool. It felt like a game day in Gainesville. 100% correct. If you're in a small town, USA, college town vibe, but a way bigger cause, i.e. a football game or a baseball game or whatever it is. And all the bars and restaurants, people are in the street having baseball catches, like little kids, like people are walking around with drinks. Such a good time. I was blown away.
People were physically hanging out of the bar. I went to one or two games in Wrigley, bro, like hanging, like there was a barbecue joint right across the street from the stadium, and people are just drinking, hanging out of the bar, bro. Just having a great time. A great spot, man. There's just cool little pockets like that. There is in the city, man.
I'll never forget it. Yeah, great people. The water there, Lake Michigan's actually like beautiful. It looks clean. I thought it was going to be like the Delaware River where we were in Philly, but no, I was blown away, man. I'll never forget. I will never forget my time there. I loved it. And
but bro, it's cold as balls there, bro. Yeah. Like that's whenever anybody asks me about Chicago, like obviously being a Florida boy, like. First thing they say, like, how was Chicago? I'm like, I can't say. After all the praise we just gave them, bro, like, it is cold there, dude. Like, nothing compares to how cold it is in Chicago. That's the first thing I say every single time. And once I get past the cold part, then I start going through the list of the really good things because it's a great city.
Yeah, it is a great city. It is so cold, man. I'll never forget it. But the nice thing is, well, hopefully you play until February. But if you're there, I don't want them to play until February now. But if they're playing until February, if you lose in the regular season, you're out of there by New Year's. When I was with Coach Fox, before Coach Nagy came in, the year before you got there, I was on the practice squad for 8 weeks. It's when Zach Miller got hurt, and we lost. And I flew out like 3 days, and that was when Chicago started doing direct into Key West. So my family always stays in Key West in January. So I booked a direct flight like 7 a.m. Flew right in Chicago. Took a nap on the plane. Woke up. It was like snow, and we barely got off. They had to like de-ice the plane. Like it was like horrible. I was like, oh. And then we landed in Key West. It was like 3 hours later or 4 hours later. I was like, oh, this is where. Yeah, so that's definitely the one knock. So great food in Chicago. Great people. I heard you played in two big time sports cities, Philly and Chicago, and had success in both places. On and off the field too, and all the things you do, because you don't just do football. You're an everything all in type guy. I asked, who'd I ask? Oh, Obi with Chicago, one of the scouts. He's from Philly and he worked in Chicago. I said, what's the difference between the fans? And I believe he said that Chicago, it's like reactions are kind of in the middle always. Like they're not upset. They're like upset. They're not disappointed. They're so happy, but they're not ecstatic. Philly was like a roller coaster. Is that true?
I mean, in my opinion, Philly's just so blue collar that like the biggest contrast I can give you, and like obviously this is just from my opinion, and like I don't know, everybody else can have a different opinion, but like Chicago is more of like they're gonna shake your hand and like nice to meet you, but then you do bad, they're gonna like mother F you. You know what I'm saying? But then after the game's over and you go hang out, like they're cool. You know what I mean? Like whatever. But while the game's happening, they're gonna lose their mind on you. Whereas like Philly, if they don't like you, they don't like you. It doesn't matter if you're, who you are, bro. Like, shoot, look at my guy Carson this year, bro. Like, bro, Carson's done nothing but unbelievable things for the city of Philadelphia, bro. Carson has changed what it means to be a Philadelphia Eagle for that city. And like, bro, like everybody hates him now. Like he walks back in the city, they're gonna hate the heck out. Bro, Carson started a food truck, bro, that would give people who don't have food free of cost. Doesn't and on his own dime. And granted, some people are gonna say, that's awesome. Some people are gonna say like, oh, he was given a ton of money, like that's what he should do. But like, bro, at the end of the day, you know how it is, dude. Like Carson has to make that choice, and his heart is unbelievable. And so he did so many things, but that's how it is in Philly. Like, dude, like Jay Cutler is still welcome in Chicago. And bro, like some people hate Jay Cutler, like absolutely hate him, but he's still like, they're going to shake his hand, and Jay's there. They're going to take a picture with him. You know what I'm saying? And they might talk trash when he leaves, when they go back home, but like while he's there, they're cool as heck with him. They want to dap him up, give him a hugs, high fives, whatever. But in Philly, the complete opposite. They're going to boo you out of the restaurant if you show up at the restaurant if you're Jay Cutler.
Yeah. So if Carson Wentz walked into our spot, Tequila's,
might not let him back in. Tequila's is different though, because the people at Tequila are really, really, really good people. My guy Oscar at Tequila's, bro, one of the best guys in the world, bro. But it's a little different over there.
Yeah, it is a little different over there. Maybe like McGillen's downtown, where I used to go out in Temple back in my Temple days. Xfinity Live, you're definitely getting booed out of there.
Xfinity Live, no question, you're getting booed out of there.
So your former team, Carson, ends up with the Colts.
Yeah.
Reunites with Frank Wright. I don't want to get too much into it and dive into any uncomfortable places for you, but you were reunited with Frank Wright. And I know you spoke highly of him when we were in Chicago together, because I picked your brain about every Philly thing. And thank God I did, because I went back and did Philly radio for 2 years when I was out, and I was just like ripping off sources and stats, not plugging you, but here's what I heard. So
I love
it. What are some things that Coach Wright brings to the table that helped you and then will help Carson?
I would say, like, first off, what a phenomenal organization the Colts are. Mr. Irsay basically lets Frank Reich and Chris Ballard, who's a GM, do whatever they see fit. And he has two unbelievable leaders from that standpoint to basically have the reins of the organization. I think from an organizational standpoint, just them, they bring in really good people to work for them. And so when you bring in really good people to work for you, you don't have to micromanage them. And so when you don't have to micromanage them, the people that are working have peace that like, I'm respected to give my opinion on a scenario, and there's not going to be any backlash on it. They might question like, why did you go that route, or why did you think that? But like, they're not going to be like, all right, bro, you're out of here. Like, you don't have to walk on eggshells in Indy, whereas you might have to other places. And so like, I would say like, man, from like a GM standpoint, I would say like from a head coach, from like a training standpoint, like, man, like it was just a joy to be there in Indy with those guys. I think Frank just brings his persona in general is just like a calmness, a never too high, never too low. I remember after every game, bro, like regardless if we won or lost, literally the Tuesday first team meeting that we have, he would say, oh, we lost this week, or we won this week, or we like fell short, or we played really well, but let's not ride the wave of what happened this week, where we created a wave before training camp started, with the off season, with training camp, with preseason. We created a wave of what we're going to be this year. We're not going to ride the wave of results if we win or lose. Like, we've created this wave that we're going to ride this wave we created and not worry about the week to week stuff, because we believe this wave in general is going to be bigger than any other wave that happens during the season. And like, coaches don't really say that, like coaches don't really have the trust in their players to rebound, regardless of win or loss. I mean, bro, wins and losses, they're both in a way, they're both the same, because there's super highs and there's super lows, and you got to figure out, because the next team you're playing, and 6 days later, they don't give a damn about what you did the week before. Like, they're trying to beat you, So it was a great experience, man. I'm really, really thankful that I was able to go there and play with those guys and with Coach Frank.
And you were in some big games last year that were fun to watch. And
yeah,
it was you guys did a lot of similar stuff that we did. So a lot of times I got to watch you guys, and that's always fun to me, watching my friends. So I think the one thing that a lot of people don't understand about the NFL, and myself included, and I'm going to ask you this, is I thought all the organizations were the same.
Yeah.
And I thought it's just the NFL apron. But which makes it a bazillion-dollar industry is they're all independently owned. They're all different owners. And they're all ran like different businesses.
Yeah.
And they have different models and different everything, which I thought was so unique. I played for some great organizations.
Yeah.
And you have as well. But did you think the same thing coming out? Like, hey, it's just the NFL. Like, it's all the same. And now you've played in, you've been successful in a lot of different places, but is it still the same for you?
Yeah, it's different. Like, I don't know how to really explain it. Like, you go to, for me, like I go to one high school, and so it's all I know. I don't know what they did at the rival high school. I don't know what they did at the next town over high school. I go to one college, whereas you transferred, you got to experience two separate universities. It's like all I knew was University of Florida, so I don't know much else. You hear stories, you see things, but you don't really know what's really going on. And it's kind of similar in the NFL. Like, I was with Philly for 4 years, bro, and I didn't know nothing else but Philly, blue collar, tough, rugged, those types of words, until, I go to Chicago, and it's kind of like a little bit of the opposite. Same with from a management standpoint, in Philly, the GM runs everything, like you can't do anything without the GM knowing, what's happening. Whereas in Chicago, it was kind of the GM knew what was going on, but he kind of gave people freedom to kind of like what they do in Indy. But it was just different. And so, yeah, you realize that like not every organization's ran the same. I mean, shoot, bro, look at Washington, bro. Like, I've never heard one person say one good thing about Dan Snyder, the owner. Not one. Like, never. And I've talked to many people about it. No one said one good thing about that organization. Even when I was playing for Philly and playing those guys twice a year, bro, those dudes had nothing but bad things to say, about Washington. And I truthfully think that it's from, it starts up top. Everything starts up top. Starts with the owner, then trickles down to the GM, then trickles down to the head coach, and then trickles down to the head trainer and the head strength coach. So I think the better people you have working at the top, the more successful, or at least more enjoyable it is to work for that team in that organization.
Yeah, it's very well said. And for us in Carolina, David Tepper, who was extremely successful, person of business, and then with Pittsburgh, it's a successful organization. And I've only heard awesome things from people that have played in Pittsburgh, at least for, what it's like to play there and be a Steeler. And
they have a great head coach too, bro. I mean, unbelievable head coach.
Yeah. Right. I mean, and tons of history of ownership, head coach. They only had like 3 or 4 head coaches and
bro, think about
forever.
That,
That's crazy in the world we live in today too, which is really, really impressive. So no, it's funny you said different. That's all I know. So I went to 2 different high schools, but I transferred in 8th and 9th grade. So I went into really one high school, but 2 different systems, public to private. And then I did not want to leave Florida by any means. I fought that for a very, very long time. And I went to 2 different colleges, and I thought Florida was the Mecca, and it is. And it was when we were there too. We were really good. Yeah. I did a lot of watching and hanging out in Midtown, but I still was a part of the team and had to
which they basically knocked down. I went last weekend, and all of it's gone. They're rebuilding it. It's gonna be different, but yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be good, right, man? Like,
it should be.
We'll see. It stinks. Like, the old part of me is like, I love the swamp and I love Cantina and all that, and it's all gone, which is a shame. But yeah, some good times. But so, but all these different places, and I thought this is the one that just triggered my mind. So when I went from Florida to Temple was the biggest jump I've ever seen. So obviously, like,
in what sense? Jump in what sense?
So from head coaches, and I personally have a ton of respect for Will Muschamp, and he treated me unbelievably, and like, we won. I mean, say what you want, we won games, especially in 12, and we lost a lot of guys in 13, and a lot of injuries happened. But man, we won. Things were really going well there for, a stretch.
Yeah.
But when I got to Coach Rule, I was like, whoa, this is a whole nother level. Like I just opened my eyes of different places I've traveled around and seen. I was like, this guy's for real. I just started ripping notes off. And I thought Will had great stuff. And we had awesome people come talk to us. But like and I've talked about this on the podcast before, like Coach Rule's team meetings are just, every one of them just hits the freaking mark every single time. Yeah, he's unreal with it. And it's really not like he's putting on a show. Like this is who he is.
Yeah.
But no, it's interesting. Like two different places it made me think, like really triggered me. But and I wanted to bring that up because I've seen, like, I've gone from good to bad to worse. Like I've been really blessed to go to a lot of different places, and I hated it at the time, but the opportunities I got to see of so many different things. Like you've seen so many different things, dude. Like you want to.
That's the cool part about it, bro. I would never in my entire life live in the city of Chicago. Never, bro. I wouldn't even think about it, dude. Never. Yeah. I would never go north of like Tampa, where I'm at right now. Like I don't want to live anywhere else. Like I love it down here, right? Like I'm a Floridian, bro. Like. Yeah, my whole heart, you know. But bro,
I'm coming too. By the way, I'm getting out. I can't deal with this cold anymore. But finish, go.
Come on, man. But like, bro, like the opportunity. The first of all, the job that we do gives us the opportunity to live in these unbelievable cities. Like I would never live in Philly. I love Philly to death, but I would never live there because I love the heat. I love palm trees. And I like the beach and I like the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Same with Indy, but like no one goes to Indy. Everybody lives in the three cities I played in: Philly, Chicago, and Indy. They all end up when they're our age moving here to Florida. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't move there, they move here. And so like that's like, bro, we've been so fortunate, man, like with what we do. Like shoot with you, bro. Like Carolina, dude. Like I mean, I don't think you'd ever want to live there. You know, knowing you, like you don't want to be there, but you want to be in Florida. No. You want to be in the Keys.
Yeah. No, and I love Charlotte. Like I lived on a lake this year. I lived on Lake
Norman. Great city, bro. I've heard nothing but great things, bro. I know multiple people here that have a house in North Carolina on a lake. Yeah.
It's great. The golf's great. I lived on a lake. I fished every day. I didn't catch a whole lot, but it wasn't time of year for it. But I would just drop a line just to say I did it.
Hey, did you? 30 minutes. Sorry, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, go ahead. No, go.
Did you? Have you ever checked out Freeman in South Carolina? Right, Freeman.
That's Freeman boats, though, right?
Boats. Yeah.
No, so. And that's the type of boat that Trey has, and we're going to get into that right now. I appreciate the segue. So, no, I have not. But since you're an owner of a boat, can we go to the dealership and check it out?
Dude, I would absolutely love that. How do you know how close you are to them or no?
No, let's look it up right now.
I mean, bro, they got phenomenal boats, bro. And you see everybody's going with the big cats now. Everybody's going like a 46-footer.
So Trey's like, dude, I'm getting a catamaran. What? No, you're not. Don't get a catamaran, dude. Get this Sea Hunter, get whatever. You're like, I'm getting a Freeman catamaran boat. It's unreal. And I was out on one in Key West, and I'm like, now I know why you got one. They're really nice.
Did you go on? You went on the Freeman?
No, I didn't go on a Freeman, but I went on a Cat Center console, and I loved it.
Which one?
I forget what it was. I
have an Invincible.
Oh, you don't have a Freeman. You have an Invincible.
No. Yeah, I have a 37 Invincible because the Freemans are ridiculously priced. Like, out of this world.
Dude, you got that money.
Dude, hey, listen, bro. I do not have that money. But if I did have that money, and even if I do, I don't want to spend it on a Freeman. I'll tell you that right now.
I thought you had a Freeman. Okay. We talked about that.
It's the same thing. There's the top two catamaran performance catamarans are Freeman.
So maybe we were on an Invincible. Invincible's got the bird in the middle of it, right?
Yeah.
Freeman.
What size, you remember?
It was in the 30s.
Yeah. So they have a 34, a 37, a 40, and then a 46.
Okay, so I'm looking at Freeman Boat Works.
It's in South Carolina. I know that.
Yeah, so it's right outside of Charleston.
Okay.
Not too far. Yeah, no. So, all right, so you get to Chicago. You're undrafted, folks. So we're telling a little the Trey Burton story. Undrafted. But I want to talk about boats. But you're undrafted. I'll tell a story for everybody. You're undrafted. You barely make the roster your first year, and you end up freaking putting an unbelievable career together in Philly. Win a Super Bowl with a great group of friends. I know you're close with a lot of guys on the team, and you still are today, which is special. You get to share with people because if you don't like the people you go to work with, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
And we'll get on all that stuff here, but you get to sign a nice ticket to Chicago. You're the man that year, and free agency, and you come I signed. That was your first year in Chicago. It was my second year. And you're like, dude, I'm getting a boat. So now where are you right now in the boating world? The boat is where? What have you been up to? I've seen you won some tournaments. You actually may be the only person making profit. You're the only person making money on your boat.
Bro, so the boating, I've just gotten into the boating game. I would say like the last 2 years, I've been seriously considering buying a boat. I ended up buying one last year, almost a year from today, because of COVID. And so down here in Florida, the only thing you were able to do was go to the islands, you know? And so for people that aren't from Florida or don't really understand like what we do down here, all the tourists go to the beach. If you're a Floridian, you go on your boat to an island in the middle of the bay, the middle of the ocean, you know, just to get away from everybody. And so we have this suite. It used to be a fort, has a lighthouse on it, has has cannons on it from when they used to shoot them at the people from coming in through the Tampa Bay Harbor. Really, really cool, like historic place, right? Good, really good size. And so that's what we were only allowed to do that. And so we're sitting in our house, my wife and I are like, man, what are we doing? Like all these people, all of our friends are out on these islands, you know, hanging out literally every day because no one's working, no one's going to school, none of that stuff. And so long story short, go to Marina. Marina has his boat. They have a new GM at the Marina, like a month or two into his, you know, being a GM, and they pull this Invincible out and they haven't marketed it. And like I said, his first 2 months as a GM, and he's like, bro, I don't want to fire anybody my first day or two here. So I would love to like give you a really good price on the boat, so that I could keep, you know, staff here. And so I was like, bro, this is the boat I want. It's not a Freeman, but it's the second best boat I can get, you know, from a performance catamaran boat. And now after having that for a year, like, bro, this thing's unreal. We do multiple night trips. You know, we'll go 100, 150, 180, 200 miles off the coast of, you know, Sarasota and to the area called Pulley Ridge, you know, basically off the coast of Naples. You're almost in the dry Tortugas, close to Cuba, you know, Little Havana, that type of stuff. And so we just fish, bro. That's what I do in my spare time. I really enjoy it. We're gonna go. Actually, we're leaving. I just got back last night at like 12:45. We did a midday trip, and then we're gonna go again on Sunday night, Monday night, and then come back on Tuesday out there. So it's fun. It's what I enjoy to do.
Are you planning the trips around what weather's going to be, or you're just like, hey, that's when we're free?
Yeah, well, that's the hardest thing I've had to explain to my wife is that like you don't really say like, hey, on Friday we're gonna go fishing. Like it doesn't work that way because it could be blowing 30-mile-per-hour winds and 6-foot waves. You know, we could do it, you know, but like, do we really want to do it? Nah, I don't. And so it's all weather dependent. You know, if the weather's good, we got to go. We're gonna go and we're gonna spend a lot of time out there and catch fish. Because I mean, right now it's far in between. You know, you might get one good day or maybe 2 good days every 2 or 3 weeks. But when summertime comes, you know, June and July, literally almost every day is, you know, good for the most part, unless a hurricane's coming through. So it's all just weather dependent, front dependent, you know, and season, like what you're able to keep and that type of stuff, fish wise.
So you're almost at the dry Tortugas, huh?
Yeah, we're out there, bro. It's we like to go to Pulley Ridge, but like the problem with Pulley Ridge is everybody can make it to Pulley Ridge. We want to, and like same with the Elbow up here off of Clearwater. It's a place called the Elbow, or the Middle Grounds is what they call it. Everybody can make it there on a good weather day, but so we want to fish the opposite side, you know. So we have our boat can hold a lot of gallons of fuel, and we have a bladder and an integrated bladder into the motors, and we've done it right, bro. And we rock and roll. It's fun.
I love it, man. I know you can fish the Upper Keys. I got to get down to Key West. We love it down there, and I kind of grew up going down there. My parents have been going for 40 years, so. Yeah. There's like homes away at home down there. We go out the same fishing people every year, for different captains.
It's a different world down there, bro. Different world.
Yeah, man. So like we'll be fishing for tarpon one day and bonefish and permit or whatever, and the next day we're out fishing for marlin or what. It's definitely a different environment, and it's weather permitting stuff. So for Sydney, my fiance, who played lacrosse in Florida, and we're getting married in June, we like she'll like, all right, we're in Key West. Well, we didn't go fishing for like the whole 2 weeks we were there the one time. And I was like, she's like, are we just going to like be at the bars and restaurants the whole time? I'm like, it's blowing 15 miles an hour. Like we can go out and it's not going to be that bad, but do you want to enjoy it? Like we're going to catch fish, but the nice thing at Key West too, is you can hide. So if it's blowing,
you're
15
protected.
Out of the north, you're protected. So yeah, a lot of fun, man. That's fun. I'm happy you're into it. You know, I know you always were into it, but
that's why I like to do the Everglades, man. Cause like, so whenever I do like backwater or inshore fishing, I love the Everglades because you're protected. You know, if you're blowing out of the east, you just go out. If you're blowing out of the west, you know, you go in and hang out and fish back there. But bro, what we got to do, and my buddy just did this 3 or 4 days ago, Venice, Louisiana. Dude, I think Venice, Louisiana.
Red fishing?
I think Key West is probably the best fishery in America, but I think Venice, Louisiana is a close second with the oil rigs, with the redfish, all that,
They're
bro.
catching
Like, it's
cobia on the
unbelievable.
oil rigs. They're catching like huge cobia and like,
Bro, they're catching 180-pound yellowfin tuna, bro. Like monster tunas, dude. Like nonstop. My buddy said he got a houseboat like at the marina where all the Freemans come in, like the Mexican Gulf fishing guys are like the best guys over there. He said he would sit there, at 5 o'clock ish and hang out and have a drink, and he would just be watching these guys bringing the charters back in, and the 3 people have to carry these tuna to the scale so they could weigh it in. He's like 150, 170, 140, 180, like, bro, like the tuna they catch there are unbelievable. And 20, 30 miles offshore.
so you're just having tuna steaks,
Basically.
endless. I would never
The
get
best
sick of that.
tuna steaks, though. Like,
Yeah. Just ahi.
Yeah, bro.
So you're sipping a little red wine tonight. What are you sipping
Yeah.
on, 1? And 2, is there a favorite or what's on the docket?
Yeah. So I'm actually drinking the Grenache right now. It's a funky red wine. This is out of Walla Walla, which is in Washington. It's more of like the vine's like a hotter climate. So this isn't like a Napa Cab. It's a little funkier than a Napa Cab. I don't know how to really explain it. My wife likes to say it's like drinking out of a shoe. That's what she likes to say. But I like it. I don't know. I never knew shoes were tasty like they are right now. But it's called it's a Cayuse vineyard. It have multiple different types of grapes, but this one's called God Only Knows. I enjoy it. I think it's really good.
Now you guys go out west and do hit Napa
We've never
Valley?
done it. My wife doesn't like red wine. She'll drink it. She just started drinking it this last year. The only one she would drink would be Silver Oak. I don't know if you've ever heard of Silver Oak, but it's like a staple and classic, like a Camus, classic. You can find it at any restaurant for the most part. So she started dabbling in it a little bit. She likes like the fruity Riesling, Moscato, or like a sangria type, person. But she's starting to get into it. She understands how much I like it. I really enjoy wine. For what it's worth. And so, yeah, dude, I like it. I'm starting to get into like the French, Italian stuff. I had a coach, Bracco, in Chicago.
Oh my God, this guy's unreal. We got to talk about him.
Assistant special teams coach from Italy, I believe. Correct?
No, he's from Missouri. He played running back and fullback at Missouri. I think he's the all-time leading rusher there, and he ran for state senate.
At Missouri, really?
Yes. So we have the same agent, ProStar Sports. We have the same agent, Paul and Warren, and John. So I'd always check in, and their Tabor that works with them as well. Mm-hmm. Tabes, who's just unreal, and Brock Olivo. So Brock gets you into the wine. Okay, this guy Brock. Okay, he coaches football in Italy. He has a daughter. But
I think he's from his family or somebody is from Italy. Like his live
ancestors, there. He grew up going over there. But I believe, let's go to Google again. I believe he ran for Senate.
That's unbelievable.
And he got votes too. Yeah, Brock.
No,
he's over there right now.
Yeah. So what happened was I was in Philly. My family, I have a lot of family in Philly, a bunch of cousins, uncles, that type of stuff. Great people. Philly is as heavy of a city for craft beer as any city in America. They'll go toe for toe with anybody in America for craft beer.
Yards.
Cool. Whatever. No big deal, right? I'm cool with it. Try it. My first 2 years, I'm like, bro, I can't do craft beer anymore after playing. Like, I can't play and drink beer at the same time. So I started going to, I Googled, what's the healthiest thing for you to drink? Wine and tequila. And so my wife had got me on tequila in college. Like, I'm not a big drinker, whatever. I'll have a glass here and there. But so I do some tequila, I do a little wine. And so I've really enjoyed the wine. So I've kind of caught on, and you respect it, bro. You're drinking history, which is a cool part about wine, from all over the world, not just here in America. But yeah, so Brock told me, going back to Brock said, before you even go to Italy, before you go to France, before you go to Spain and drink the real wine, master California first, or the West Coast, California, Oregon, Washington. Go through it, figure out what you like, drink all the different varieties of grapes, and after you realize what is what, then go overseas. And so I'm starting now, going on year 3 or 4, drink a wine, really going over there and trying to figure out what's good and what's not.
That's great, man. I love it. It's the only way to do it, to get all into it. We're dabbling in Sydney's family. My fiance, they're into it. They're into it. And I'm starting to get more into it. We said to listen to Barstool Breakfast with Willie Colon and Large, the show on Barstool Sports, and it was on XM radio, and they're not on XM anymore, but they would have these gentlemen's Fridays, and they would have a wine sommelier, I guess, a wine specialist.
Yeah.
And they would come in with cheese and wine and meats and the whole nine. And it would be like 7 a.m. to 9 was the show.
Wow.
So they'd wait till 7:30 because they're gentlemen. And they would like drink. This is their whole thing. I thought the show was fantastic. And they would drink wine, and they would have an expensive wine. They would line up wines like expensive, inexpensive, expensive. And this is what I'm drinking tonight, which is Silk and Spice. It's like $13 a bottle.
It's good
but
stuff.
They thought it tastes like a $40 bottle.
Uh-huh.
So it's not bad. Red blend. I like it. It. And it, I feel okay the next day, which is good.
That's the interesting thing. Like once you start like getting older and you realize like, oh, I can't do vodka anymore because I get like a massive hangover. You know what I mean? Like I could drink wine, I could drink a glass, 2 glasses, 3 glasses of wine and have no problem, the next day.
So vodka, bunch of booze. It actually triggered me. A picture of you when I was going through some different things for our interview. The Eagles Super Bowl parade. What was that like?
Oh, dude. So the Super Bowl is really cool. Obviously not many people get to do it. One of the best things you'll ever get to experience as an athlete. Winning any championship is obviously really fun and really cool. And that's why you play the sport. But bro, like the parade is on a whole nother level. Like that, when people ask me like, what was my favorite part about that year? Number one was like the guys that we did it with, but like number two, a close second was like, dude, that parade was out of this world, man. Just so much fun. The city did it right. I mean, they were starving for a football championship, dude. They haven't won one. They never won a Super Bowl, but they won a championship, way, way, way back. And so just to be able to do that in that city, bro, they deserved it. The way we did it was really cool, as well. But there's so many factors that, the way we did it, the guys we had, the city, the no championships, like, all of that just blends in, and it just makes the story, so much cooler. Dude, great time. Probably my favorite Philly moment ever. And you just you can't replicate it. You can't beat it.
I remember that morning I woke up at 4 because I was training at Temple and they were shutting streets down for the parade. So I'm like, oh man. So I got to Temple at like 6 a.m. and trained till like 7 or 8 and then got out of Dodge because it was just chaos. And I got home and that's right when Selleck was on the mic.
Yeah.
You get a good one going.
Or Jason Kelsey.
Or Kelsey too.
Yeah.
Who got the most banged up?
Oh, dude. So Selleck is one of my favorite people ever, right? Favorite people. So the tight ends were all, I think the running backs might have been as well, but I think it was just tight ends.
Who was your tight end room that year? It's a pretty good room.
Dude, unbelievable room. So started at top with the coach, Justin Peel. Great guy, phenomenal coach. I think it was his first or second year as being like an actual tight end coach. He played 10 years in the league. He's like the epitome of a meathead. Like he wants you to run through every person, no matter Adama Sue. Like he wants either one of us, and we have no business running through Adama Sue. Like I'll stay far away. You know what I mean? He wants you to do that. If you don't do that, he's gonna yell at you. But phenomenal coach, right? We all really enjoyed being with him. Then you have Brent Selleck, the vet. I think he was on year 10, maybe 11 that year. He retired the following year. Philly legend, the best tight end to ever play in Philly. And then you got Zach Ertz underneath him, those are 1 and 2, whatever you want to say. You can say one guy, I'll say the other guy, like whatever. They're both top 2 tight ends ever playing in Philly. Then you had me, and a guy named Billy Brown was there. I don't know, but it was just us 3, me, Zach, and Selleck.
So
that
was really
you
3 that good. Okay, wow, that's cool. Yeah. That's rare. Like that's a lean group. I mean, you guys are all really good, so that helps a lot. But rooms are a little bit bigger. That was our group, bro, and we were all on the bus together. And like I'll never forget, like Selleck was so banged up. Well, at first, Billy was there because Billy was in charge of bringing beers onto the bus, right? And so like what people don't realize is that they were telling us the parade's going to be 2 hours long, right? You get on the bus at 10 o'clock, you're back by 12 at the latest, bro. We didn't get back until like 5:45 that afternoon. Like it was literally like a 5, 6, 7 hour parade, which obviously made it so much more fun. But Billy's in charge of bringing the beers, and so Billy gets there. He has like a 12-pack of beers. Like Billy, there's
four of us, four guys, not even including the women. You know what I mean? Four guys, and you're bringing 12 beers for a supposedly 2 hour,
You should have had 12 cases.
Celebration. Yes. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, we're not gonna have enough beer. Like, this is gonna be bad. And I'm not a beer drinker, but like, whatever, I'll do it. You know, dude. I don't even know if we might have drank one beer from Billy, and we were drinking whatever people were throwing at us. And I can't chug. I couldn't chug it. You told me I'll give you $100,000 right now to drink a beer in less than 5 seconds. I couldn't do it. Honestly, I'll try as hard as I could, but I can't do it. Bro, we were downing beers, bro. And they were freaking throwing beers. We're chugging them. They're throwing the little liquor, little, I don't know what they are. They're not pints, but they're small.
The little one shots. Yeah.
One shooters, bro. And you're just shooting them and beer and shooting them. And you're like, as soon as you look to the crowd, a beer is coming. You look the other way, a beer is coming, bro. Like, we're catching beers and making sure they're not hitting the ladies and like hitting ourselves. And we had no shortage of whatever you could ever imagine during that time. So to say all that, Selig was banged up, bro. And I was telling Selig, bro, you don't gotta speak. He's like, no, I gotta do it for the city. I'm like, bro, like, you don't gotta do it, bro. Like, it's not that big of a deal. He's like, no, I'm trying to talk him off the cliff. But long story short, he ends up doing it. Phenomenal speech. You know, obviously a legend in Philly. But what a great time, man. Great event. And it was really, really cool to be a part of.
What an event. I remember seeing it on TV, like, man, this is what you got to do. This is the
dude doing it, bro. And guys would get off the trolley and they would walk in, like, they would literally walk miles and like high-fiving fans and like being a part of, and like, bro, the Philly fans love that stuff, dude. It was just, and as far as your eye could see, like, literally, no joking, no exaggeration. Like, as soon as you get to Center City, like, you're going around City Hall, yeah. Going around City Hall, and bro, as far as you can see, is people just going nuts. And a great time.
Yeah, because you're looking down, you're going down Broad Street, and you're looking east and west, and they're just piles of people.
Yeah, you hit Broad Street, and it's a roundabout, but we went the opposite way because everything's closed off. So we take a left as soon as we hit City Hall, and to go to the Rocky Steps, and it was cool, man. Unbelievable event. They did a really good job.
Where do you keep your ring? Is it in a case? You got a little trophy case?
Yeah, we have a safe here in Tampa, but I take it with me whenever I'm playing. So like whenever I'm in Indy, I bring it with me. You really don't wear it as often as you would think. You know, maybe 3 times a year. You know, and one of those being the Super Bowl that year. So, but man, it's cool to look at. I just got it cleaned recently, probably like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, bro, they did that right too. It was a good job. They did a good job with all that.
Is it a massive rock? Like, is it just? I've seen the pictures of it. It's unreal. Plus the Eagles green's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good size. It's the cool thing about it, and I guess that's what kind of everybody's going to now, is that like every diamond, every emerald, every like etching, it means something. You know, like everything, they use the whole entire ring to make the whole entire thing, you know, encompass the season. And so they did a really good job with that. It was cool because like for me, they have 130 something diamonds on the top of the ring, and the reason they chose that many diamonds was because it was the numbers of the guys who touched the ball during the Philly special. So I was 88, Corey Clement was 30, and Nick Foles was 9, and so like all of us combined, whatever that is how many diamonds they put on top of the ring. So like it's cool for me. Like I'll always be able to tell my family, like my kids, like, dude, if I was 47 like I was the year before, like that's what 41 less diamonds, you know.
Thank God you changed your number, Trey.
Goodness,
all the Eagles,
yeah, bro.
All the Eagles players are saying the same exact thing right now.
Yeah, bro.
That's fantastic, man. That's fantastic. So as we'll wrap things up here, though, I need to touch on the Gator stuff because I was looking up today. I said, I mean, I don't even like to prepare, honestly, for the podcast because I just rather let the conversation goes where it goes. We know enough about the people that are on, and let's just talk and have a good time because, hey, if you want to look up Trey's numbers and whatever, you can just Google it. What I did, I went on Wikipedia, and no one says they use Wikipedia. They're all liars. Everybody uses Wikipedia. So, Trey, 50 games at Florida, which is insane, by the way.
Yeah.
50
I was
games.
there for a long time. For a long time, bro.
Games. Team captain, which is to me, you know, I was there. We voted for you. 20 touchdowns.
Appreciate that.
700 770 rushing yards, I think, or 720 rushing yards, 926 receiving yards. But you did everything. The fact that you didn't throw a touchdown boggles my mind. You didn't throw a touchdown?
No, I only threw probably like 5 passes, maybe 4 passes, and it was all my freshman year.
All right, so there's so much things to talk about for Gainesville. I'll be selfish and start where my thoughts are. Your run against Tennessee.
Yeah.
That was insane. That was at Tennessee, correct?
Yeah. Bro, the cool thing about that was the first time they were on game day in a long time. Like they were, and they're still trash now, but they were really bad then. And they had just, for some reason, they voted them in the top 25. And that was probably like our second or third game day in a row. Cause remember we played Texas A&M, like
correct.
Maybe the week before that. And then we played them and then we played.
And that was A&M's first game in the SEC.
First SEC game. And that was Johnny Manziel. Like that was the first time people really got to watch Johnny Manziel play ball.
We snuck that one out.
That was a close one, bro. It was so hot there. What a great venue, man.
You
weren't there for that one?
No, I didn't travel. I was just back in Midtown having a good time.
Well, what a great venue. College Station.
A&M awesome. Is? Yeah, talk about that. What's that like?
Nicest fans in the world. They give you the thumbs up, which means gig 'em, but you don't know that as like a player. You think they're like giving you a thumbs up, like, good luck today, because everybody gives you thumbs up, whatever. Where when you're in Tennessee, like they're trying to push your bus down, and they're throwing stuff and trying to hit you with beers and that type of stuff. So it's like a complete opposite. But they're saying gig 'em, but they're not trying to be nice, but they are being nice with the thumbs up. So great venue. They've enhanced the stadium, made it more capacity, loud as heck. Really really cool. Yeah. Johnny Manziel, great time. But Knoxville, man, what a great place to play. First time, like I said, on game day in a long time. First time ranked in a long time. First play of the game, we're on like the 12-yard line. We try to run a reverse to Andre DeBose, and we fumble the ball, right? And we end up recovering it. We're on like the 4 or the 6 or 5-yard line, something like that. And I'll never forget this. I just spoke to somebody about this yesterday or 2 days ago. It was so loud there during that when we fumbled the ball after the first play. Obviously, the place is juiced, and we got the ball first, and the place is going nuts. But bro, like I remember Jeff Driscoll goes to call the play, and he literally has to call it 5 or 6 times because you can't hear what he's saying. And like I give the analogy of like, so it's so loud that you're looking straight, but your head is shaking. But you're looking straight. You don't want you're not trying. You're trying to look straight, but like your vision is like blurred. Like that's how I remember it. And so, awesome game, cool environment. We obviously won, which made it a lot better. We had a really good year, like you said, 2012 at Florida. But yeah, good times.
That was insane. I remember going crazy, and you're just like pulling away, like, oh, looks like someone's got him. Nope. I'll never forget it. You're pumping. I think you had the white gloves on.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it, man. And that team was so loaded. I tell people all the time, like we get in locker room arguments. I think some of our Temple teams are loaded. We have guys all over the league, but that team at Florida was so loaded. Offensively, we could not move the ball. We did. I mean, Mike Gilsey had a nice year.
Yeah.
And some guys had some nice years. You had a nice year. But Jay Reed, he's unreal. He's unreal.
Yeah.
He's a video game.
As good as it gets. Yeah.
Yeah. And 2 quarterbacks. Well, Jacoby transferred at that point in time. Our offensive line, that entire line's in the NFL and starting. And
every single player on offense and defense
we couldn't protect. This is your offensive line: Trenton Brown, John Harrison, who else? Halapio, Chaz Green, Max Garcia.
Yeah,
that's all NFL players. That doesn't happen everywhere. We couldn't.
They're all still playing, bro. What do you mean? What is it? 6 years, 7 years past? Like they're all still playing now to this day. Shoot, even Driscoll's still playing. You know what I mean? Like every single one
Jacoby.
of us.
Well, I was going to go through that list. Yeah, well, Joby's not there. I brought that up, but the defense was insane. It was a build team. What were practices like? Because I don't remember. I was out. I was out that season. But yeah, what was 12 like? Because teams were so loaded.
Competitive, bro. Practice sucked, man. College practice in general sucks just because like how physical you got to be, bro. And like they don't give a damn, dude. Like especially spring practice, like stuff is just for Florida just getting over. I went to the last one on Saturday, but like other teams are just starting up. Bro, spring practice sucks, man. There is not a worse time for an athlete than spring football practice because they don't really care. Like if you get hurt, you have 3 or 4 months until training camp starts. You know what I mean? So you have time to rehab it. But bro, like you don't want to be rehabbing over the summer. Like, bro, these guys, as soon as spring practice is over, they get a week off. Like, the last thing you want to do is be in the training room on that week off because you don't have many weeks off in college, in general. So, yeah, I mean, I don't want to go on a tangent, but spring practice sucks, in college. And so it was really competitive. I remember, bro, every day we did one-on-one drills. And the damn DBs, bro, the safeties would just stand, like Matt Elam would just stand at 8 yards. And in college, you're allowed to collision guys, so they would just stand there, bro, and they just try to just two-gat you, bro. Like, so you just get knocked off your route. And those practices for sure. That's one of the things I'll never forget. Like, they were super competitive because there was great guys, great talent on both sides of the ball. But college practices suck, man. Bloody Tuesdays, all that, just bad.
I saw Bostic this year. What did I see?
Yeah,
Dante Fowler.
Yeah,
we played with Bullard. They're all over. I mean, Easley had knees. Free Floyd injury problem. Elam was a first round pick.
Yeah.
Jelani Jenkins, Blue Chest Purefoy was really good. I mean, that team was really good, really good. Josh Evans. All right, I wrote this down. Jacoby, Jeff Driscoll, Nick Foles, Carson Wentz, Mitch Trubisky, Phillip Rivers. Who else am I missing?
Quarterback wise,
it's a pretty good group.
Sam Bradford, Mark Sanchez.
Okay.
You said Phillip Rivers?
Yeah.
Already?
That's
Matt Barkley,
Tebow
in Philly.
Barkley.
Yeah. Chase Daniel.
I love Chase. What a guy. I saw Chase this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Chase, Barkley, Tebow, Bradford. I can't even read my own handwriting.
Foles, Wentz.
Rivers, Trubisky. Yeah. Jacoby and Jeff.
Yeah.
Are both in the NFL.
Tyler Murphy. Skyler Morningway.
Skyler. Yeah. Well, I was going more of like, the guys in the NFL, but I like this too. Shout out to Skyler, the man. He's one of my best friends, Skyler.
Tyler and Skyler were both at Florida. They started for a couple games. They did.
Yes, they're both great guys. I love them. And who else? Let me think. I had one on the tip of my tongue there that I thought would be a good one. Oh, I love Tyler Bray. I thought Tyler Bray is very underrated. Tyler Bray threw me the ball every day in practice.
Yeah.
He's the only quarterback that's ever done that in my career. So I appreciate you, Tyler Bray, because I'll never forget this. Matt Nagy, I was a punching bag, and that was probably on purpose. In the tight end room, Tompy time, all that good stuff in Chicago.
Tompy time. And
we had so much fun, good laugh. And I was at, the expense of all of it, which I loved. I don't care.
I don't think people realize like how much of a legend you are. I don't think people realize that. Like, you are a absolute legend.
What, in Chicago?
Like, dude, I'm sure definitely 100% in Chicago because I was physically there, and same with Gainesville. But like, I'm sure in Carolina, like, bro, like, absolute legend. I'm sure I've never heard one person say one bad thing about you.
Oh, thank you, Trey.
We've had some great times. Like, bro, I'm so happy for you, dude. Like, and the situation you're in now, like in Carolina, like, bro, like, I'm your biggest fan. Like,
thanks,
I would try to watch every game. Like, when you scored, who'd you score against?
Tampa.
Yeah. And on the goal line, what was it? A 7 route, a little corner?
It was just a little bluff. It was a 7. It was just a bluff run to the pylon as fast as you can. We ran duo and just pump faked it and went. Yeah.
So it was as if like my son scored. Like, obviously I don't think of you as my son, but like, we're really good friends. But like, bro, like, I was screaming, like, stood up, Tompy, let's go, bro. Like, I think I even texted Gilby, like, bro, like, so happy for you, man. Like, you deserve all of it, dude.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. No, that means a lot. I think the world of you always have. And, someone I looked up to, and then to be teammates, that was really cool for me. I'll never forget this. I just got cut from Chicago, and we were down at Sydney's Beach House in Panama City, Destin, 30A, Santa Rosa Beach, awesome area. Did some red fishing and caught some red snapper, by the way, that are literally the size of trash can lids, but we had to throw them back. I mean, they were massive.
Sucks, bro. Sucks.
I mean, literally, I'm like, wait, what? And we were pulling them up.
That sucks.
He's like, just deep drop it, wind it up a couple times right above the reef. Wait a second. Boom.
Smack
it.
Yeah.
And they fight.
Oh, yeah. Good fight. I was yo, what is this on here? So you guys FaceTime me, though. Do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And literally like Sid, the one snapped the line off. She like almost went over the boat.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's some big ones up there, but they're not in season until July, and they're in season for a month, and you can't even go out fishing. It's all booked 2 years in advance. But you guys called me on the beach. You guys FaceTime me. I was on the beach. It's having me walking on the beach with Sydney and her mom, and I was like having a meltdown, dude. I was so upset to leave you. Like, I was like, I'm on the beach. Like, I want to be in the NFL is what I want to do. So,
yeah.
No, I always appreciated that. Where was
Look at you now, bro. Look at
I
you
know,
now,
man.
dude.
I'm in. Crazy. How many?
For you, man.
Crazy, best ball, because there's a lot of guys in there.
Best ball. I mean, bro, the gunslinger, Sammy Bradford, bro, he throws a good ball, man. I think him, Phillip, and Foles are kind of like in the same boat because like they're really accurate with their throws and like they could throw it really, really hard. And it feels like they're lobbing it to you. And it's always right where you want it every single time. So those three, I think, especially like Sammy B, he was really good.
What I was going to say was the Tompi time when you guys would text me and say you're on the highlight video or whatever, you're on the tape this week in practice.
Yeah.
Snyder definitely like put it in there. Like we ran like a shovel
no question.
pass and like a rookie mini camp. What a great guy.
Yeah.
Well, Trey, I look forward to going out fishing with you soon. You teaching me more about red wine and probably some fishing as well. And send your best to the kids and your lovely wife. You guys took care of me in Chicago when I, was living the extended stay. So I always appreciate you for that. And thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Of course, bro. Much love. Anything else you need, let me know. Give me a shout.
Well, there you have it. The great Trey Burton, Florida Gator legend, NFL legend, Super Bowl champion. You heard his stories about the Eagles parade. You heard his stories about wine, his knowledge of wine. You heard the stories about our time together in Chicago and some fun stuff at Florida and some of our memories from there and some good jokes. And we both love to fish and have some cocktails and talk about football and play football, which is really cool. And Trey, again, is someone that I'm lucky to call a dear friend. So, Trey, we appreciate you, brother. Looking forward to having you on again. And maybe we'll do an episode out fishing one day. That sounds like a lot more fun than sitting in our house doing it. So appreciate you, brother. Wealth Advisory Services, guys. Dave, Paul, I talked about them. WealthAdvisoryServices.com. Just check them out. People that really, they listen. They're so comfortable to be around with an uncomfortable topic if you don't know what you're talking about, and that's finances. And I didn't and still don't, but I'm constantly learning and feel more comfortable really because of Dave and Paul. So thank you to those guys at Wealth Advisory Services. Check them out. And then the Fudge Kitchen. It's the best gift to send. You could send the tchotchke stuff from Amazon or wherever you send gifts from, the same 15, 20 items. But, I'm asking Sydney how we can get Fudge on a registry because, I would like a couple of boxes of Fudge. It'd be fantastic. Those won't get regifted. A lot of your stuff you're going to get for the wedding may get regifted. But we're not going to be regifting any Fudge over here. So fudgekitchens.com. Check them out. They ship Fudge across the country. Those people in the Northeast, all about it. Jersey Shore folks are from Cape May, where we're hanging out right now, all the way up to Ocean City, New Jersey. So check them out, fudgekitchens.com, Wealth Advisory Services. This does it. Another episode. We're rolling along. We have a lot of good stuff moving forward. Fun new guests. Again, we're keeping the variety all over the place, from pro athletes, Super Bowl champs, to lead singers of bands, to creators of TV shows, to comics, to tributes to John Chaney. So, yeah, a lot of fun. We're having a blast, and we appreciate everyone's support. We appreciate our sponsors, Wealth Advisory Services, the original Fudge Kitchen. Thank you guys so much. We look forward to another episode and look forward to watching this game tonight and seeing what happens. Thanks for your support, guys.
So they get left behind. I can't let you go. I won't let you know. I'm drowning in your wine. Another night is down. Yeah, make you right. That's why I gotta go.